Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you so much. If you give this video maybe a thumbs up, or possibly leave a comment below, or maybe share this video, it would mean the world to me. But just at least thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to watch this video. Thank you. Just all I was seeing was a lot of injury news, a reoccurring theme here with the New York Football Giants this year. Andrew Thomas, who's put on IR, all right, because he hurt his right ankle again against the Rams on Sunday. All right, but he hurt his right ankle, but he was going into the game against the Rams with a left foot injury. So he had a problem with his left foot, and now he has a problem with his right ankle. So, IR doesn't, that season ending, so. But, and of course, this is also including last season. After last season, he had surgery on his left ankle. All right, so he had surgery on his left ankle. Now he has problems with his left foot. And he also has problems with his right ankle. And, it's probably, I guess maybe a knee problem would also, especially if you're a tackle, would also be just as, I guess, devastating. Because you got, every time, you're blocking, you got to plant the foot, drive off the foot, and, or, if you're pass blocking, the Giants that threw the ball over 50 times against the Rams. If you're down 44-20 to the Cowboys, you're not trying to get the running game going. Let's run a draw. Let's run it off tackle. Let's do a sweep. Let's do, you're down by 24 points. You got to throw the ball. So, unfortunately, over the past couple of games, we're getting blown out by a grand total of 51 points over the past 2 weeks. You got to throw the ball a lot. So you figure every time, they snap the ball, he's going obviously back into pass blocking protection. Well, he's got to anchor, because you got the defensive, player trying to maybe bull rush him or trying to get around this, run around or whatever. He's got to, anchor his feet and chop his feet and all and everything. And especially now, he's having problems with both feet / ankles. You're doomed. I don't know anybody, having problems with their feet and ankles. They can go out there and properly block in the NFL. Hopefully, after a week, or, the IR has to be out, I believe, out for at least 3 weeks. Okay, then they can reactivate them, and I believe they might have, 21 days to put him back to the active roster. They have to shut him down. So we'll have to keep an eye, and see where it goes from here. But hopefully it's not a reoccurring theme, because we've seen Andrew Thomas. He's going to be forever linked to Wirfs, Wills, and Micah Parsons. Forever linked. And because the Giants playing as bad as they are, all the naysayers and all will say, of course, one of the, they'll point to many things, and some of the things, rightfully so, the naysayers are correct about. You can't argue with some of the things they say about. But one of the things that they'll always put in there is, the Andrew Thomas. They had to pick of 4 tackles, and they took the worst one. So he'll be forever linked, to those 3 other guys. And he'll always be compared to them. Well, you took Andrew Thomas at number 4. Micah Parsons is graded out a little higher, and Wirfs doing good, but of course they got Wirfs on the right side, not the left side, not the blind side. Okay, where the quarterback can possibly see pressure coming, except from sometimes maybe Daniel Jones. Sometimes that guy's just oblivious to pressure. He just doesn't see it. But I said he'll always be forever linked to those guys. So hopefully he can get this straightened out, and hopefully it's not a reoccurring theme. Because last year he had surgery done at the end of the season. Well, I mean, last year he was a 62.4 graded out at. Okay, this year so far, if he plays anymore, I don't know, but so far he's a 68.8. Okay, and that was after he graded out at 54.8 versus the Rams, and he was hurt. So that possibly brought his grade down a little bit. But I mean, this year compared to last year, he has definitely got better without question. Okay, but I'm just saying, hopefully it's not a recurring theme where every year something goes wrong with his foot or his ankle or something and he can't. It's just kind of wonder. I mean, the guy's getting hurt. And all these guys, it's kind of like, how do they make it through high school football or college football? Or I mean, and of course they put C.J. Board on IR. I mean, it might be season ending probably for him. He broke his arm. Shane, I mean, he hasn't been, he's had some good plays. Hasn't been, done much on the offense, shall we say. But on the return, he's done decent. He's 11 kickoff returns. He's averaging 24.8 yards a return, almost 25 yards a return. He's had 2 punt returns. I think he's had 5 fair catches, I believe it was. But 2 punt returns, every time it returns up 16.5 yards a return. And that's 2 punt returns is very small. I get it. But the guy is, I don't want to say special back there. I mean, he's not bringing the ball back to the house all the time, but he's good enough where he can, if he gets the ball, he can make the first guy or so miss, and he can get some yardage out of it. So hopefully he comes back next year. Hopefully he's healthy, and I'm sure he'll give it a go again next year. Of course, then we had. Rodarius on October 14th, Rodarius Williams, put him on IR. He's out for the season with his knee. Okay, then on October 15th, we got Justin Hilliard on the IR with his ankle. Then Danny Shelton, okay, he's day-to-day with a pectoral strain. Apparently, he avoided like a major, season-ending injury. It's not a tear. It's just a strain. So he's day-to-day. Have to keep an eye on him. Then apparently some good news on the brighter side of life. You got Ellison Smith and Aaron Robinson. They both came off the IR. Now, apparently what I was reading is neither one is expected to play this Sunday against the Panthers, okay? But the Giants have 3 weeks, all right, to activate those guys, all right, to the roster, okay? If not, after 3 weeks, then they have to put them on season ending IR. So their season, I can't even say their season's over because for those 2 guys it hasn't even begun yet. Now, Aaron Robinson, the 3rd rounder, okay, out of Central Florida. He needed to have the core muscle surgery. So it's just exciting to see what possibly he can do. Now, also kind of exciting if you can get the guy on the field. I hope we can. To see, where he, might be beneficial. Because you're probably not going to be signing Jabrill Peppers. I mean, can you put him in, where Jabrill is in the box, maybe help, some type of, linebacker or rushing the passer. Because Jabrill was good at rushing the passer. Getting some pressure on the quarterback. Okay. Can you put him in the slot corner? Because Darnay Holmes has had kind of a rough time this year. Rodarius Williams, I know he played his heart out, but he was kind of struggling a little bit. So where can you put Aaron Robinson? Can you put him maybe cornerback number 2? Because you got to start looking, you got Adoree Jackson. I mean, obviously, after this year, you only have him for, I think, 2 more years. I think we got Bradbury, for 2 more years after this. So you got to start looking at, obviously, if a new GM comes in, is he going to want to try to start clearing some of these contracts, bringing in some of his own guys in, so you got to start looking, some of these guys we drafted. It's so important to get them on the field to see where they can go, what they can do, where they can fit at, So hopefully Aaron Robinson will get him on the field and we can see what he can do. Then, okay, so you got Ellison Smith, the 4th round, okay, out of Northern Iowa. He's 6'6" or 6'7", long, tall, lean. He's got that, the long arms and if he can play himself right, where extending the arms and he's tall and all. That could be a huge advantage to him. Now you want to see what he can do because you got guys, Carter Coughlin. He's. It's just amazing. Some kind like last year, some of the guys just seem to do a little bit better. Like Lorenzo Carter this year. The X-Man. X-Man had a good game last week, but you're gonna get one good game out of every 5 or 6. So you want to see what Ellison Smith can do, but also which because if you believe in Azeez Ojulari, you got him on one side, and then if Ellison Smith impresses, all right, then maybe you in the draft next year we got a boatload of picks, 10 of them. So next year, if you're gonna, try to get, excuse me, maybe beef up the edge rushers a little bit. Maybe if Ellison Smith is okay, and you got Azeez Ojulari, maybe you want to talk about maybe just trying to those early round picks, maybe beefing up, the defensive line, get some pressure from the defensive line. Maybe get, obviously take an edge rusher, but maybe wait till the 3rd round. I think we got 2 in the 3rd next year. Maybe or get somebody in the 4th round, right? It's the same thing with we got Cam Brown. See if because he came off the IR. A lot of times they use him on the special teams, but let's see what he can do, especially because you want to see where you got to go with these. You got 10 draft picks. I want to see where you want to go with all these draft picks. Then you got, of course, you've got we've only played 6 games, but at least Gary Brightwell's been on the field, the 6th rounder from Arizona. His special teams, he's had 90 snaps. He's a special teams guy. He said that even after when he got drafted. He loves special teams. Now, he's had 90 snaps in 6 games. He's had average 15 snaps, okay, a game. So he's pretty much almost on. I don't know. I haven't if he's on like the kickoff return or the punt return or this or that, but 15 snaps a game on special teams. That's pretty good. And he's so far he's graded out PFF, but with a 63. Not unbelievable, but for a rookie, that's not too bad. 63 certainly could be worse. His offensive grade, he's only been on the field for 10 snaps, right? He's graded out of 55, okay? So at least you got a sample size. He's not hurt. Thank you. And if you continue to play the rest of the season, okay, you get a better idea of what you got with him, all right, which is huge. Because you want to know at the end of the season, okay, you don't know what the final 11 games is going to happen, okay? You don't know. But if a new regime is going to come in or a new GM or something like it, they're going to clear house. They got to know what they got there. And, you don't want a diamond in the rough like, say, Ellison Smith, okay, is a diamond in the rough. And you don't want to just dismiss the guy, if he can be very, very productive for your team. Now you got Darius Williams, okay? He's hurt. He's out for the season. The 6th rounder out of Oklahoma State, okay? But, his defensive grade, at least he was on the field for 50 snaps. Okay? Not a huge sample size. When the season's all said and done, there's going to be, well over 1,000 snaps. But at least he was on the field for 50 of them, okay? You're only graded out at 43.9. I know the guy, I'm sure he leaves his heart and soul out on the field. If you just see the guy talking at the podium, just talking the way, he just seems to love football. He left it all out on the field, okay? But he needs, I don't know if he's going to need some coaching or if he's just not going to quite cut it in the NFL, because he's a sixth rounder. I mean, sometimes there's a reason why you get guys in the sixth round, right? So he has graded out at 43.9. Special teams, he's only been on special teams for only 15 snaps, but he graded out at a 48.9. So you got a little sample size of maybe what Darius Williams can bring. Then you got Kadarius Toney, obviously the first rounder, of course. Now, he's in a long line of Giants. He keeps getting hurt, okay? But he's been on the field for 163 snaps, right? He's graded out at a 77. The dude is special. You don't got, even me, even as stupid and dumb as I am, an old fart like me, you just put it on and you watch him. I mean, the guy had 3 catches against the Rams, who basically, shut down the Giants, the whole game. He had 3 catches against the Rams, and he went in with with his ankle, okay, hurting him, okay. On the first drive, he had 3 catches. I mean, I said the week before that, he had 10 catches for 189 yards. The week before, I mentioned this in my video, he played 37 snaps. He played a little more than half the Giants' snaps, okay, for the game. I said this in my video. Do you realize if he played every snap of that game, he would have had 18 catches and he would have had 340 yards receiving, which would have been an NFL record. Do you realize that? I mean, you got the Giants. Basically, the whole team was a bunch of backups in there. You even had Mike Glennon in there. Okay, we had nearly we had Evan Ingram, we had Will Hernandez, we had Nate Solder in there. Those are like the 3 starters we had toward the end of the game against the Cowboys. Then you had a Kadarius Toney in there, which obviously the dude's going to be a starter, okay? But he wasn't a starter at the beginning of the season. He was riding on the bench. We were kind of wondering what the heck's going on with him. But when the Giants had like pretty much 8 backups on offense in there, and we were getting slaughtered by the Cowboys and by the Cowboys defense and all you had to worry about for the most part on the New York Football Giants offense was one guy, Kadarius Toney. Cowboys couldn't cover him. You see, he left some of those guys grasping for air. Left so many those frickin' Cowboys, frickin' jock straps all over the place, faked them right out of their shoes and everything. They couldn't cover him. 10 catches, 189 yards. He would have had 18 for 340 yards. He would have set an NFL record in his 5th game in the NFL. Absolutely freaking amazing. The guy is, you can say a lot of things about Gettleman or whatever. He got this one right. And we got him an extra draft pick in next year's draft. So, you know what? I'm going to take Kadarius Toney, okay, over DeVonta Smith any day of the week, okay? Then, of course, you got Azizo Gilard, the second rounder, obviously from Georgia. Now, his defensive grade, 236 snaps. All right, he has 3 sacks. Okay, the 3 were in the first 3 games of the year. Hasn't had any sense, but he's graded out 56.1 by PFF. Okay, respectable. Okay, nothing, off the charts. Now, obviously, he's had problems with his knees in the past. Hopefully, maybe that's why he's not playing as, he's only playing, not all the snaps. It's because maybe they're trying to, worry about his workload and maybe trying to keep it down to, keep it down a little bit so he doesn't, have any problems with his knees. Now, he's only been on special teams for 11 snaps. He's graded at a 62.3. But at least you know what you got with the guy. Okay, so by the end of the season, it's so important that, the guys that you drafted, we didn't have a lot of draft picks this year, but it's so important to know what these guys can do going forward, right? And then, of course, speaking of that Dallas Cowboys, DeMonte Kazee, the moron, the gutless pussy who, after the play was over, threw Kadarius Toney to the ground. Like a real tough guy he is. The stupid frickin' idiot, he got caught. He got arrested. All right, for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. Okay. A couple days ago, I believe it was. The Cowboys, I think they're on their bye week this week coming up. So I guess he was out celebrating their victory over the Patriots, and it happened down in Texas. So, but he got pulled over. He got arrested. So good for you. dipshit. Hey, guess what? Comes around, goes around. Real freaking tough guy. Throwing a guy 189 pounds, Kadarius Toney went to the ground, whatever he weighs. Yeah, real tough. That's the only way you can tackle him. You got to tackle him after the bell, after the whistle blows. Piece of crap, Devontae Kazee. What a freaking moron. And then I don't want to say too much on the brighter side, but what I saw, according to Tankathon, okay, the Giants have picks number 6 and number 16. I also saw we have pick number 5, and I also, it's a little conflicting. I also saw where the Bears pick that we're going to get next year, next year's draft, is number 18. So I saw 16 and 18. But on Tankathon, they got us picking number 6 and 16. Now, I said that the Jets have only played, the Jets are 1-4, so their winning percentage is 200. So the winning percentage is higher than ours. So that's why we're drafting in front, because the Jets had a bye week. So, but, that's one of the things to keep an eye on, especially because I think this week coming up, the Bears are playing the Bucs. So hopefully, you got to be a big Tom Brady fan this week, guys. I don't care if you hate him or not. He's got to be a big fan of yours. He's a big fan of mine this week. I love the guy. Go Bucs, baby. Remember, just keep remembering JPP, baby. Go JPP this week, right? Because if they can knock the Bears off almost halfway through the season, the Bears will be 3-4. The Bears will have a losing record. I don't believe they'll keep doing that as the season goes on. But then, of course, the Bears pick that we're going to get next year, instead of 16 or 18 or whatever, will fall down. Maybe it'll be like 13 or 14. And if the Bears can go on a nice little losing streak, hopefully with any luck, the Giants might want to have 2 top 10 picks. And I'll tell you, 2 top 10 picks. We can either bolster the defensive line. We got to get a stud on both sides. Either that or take one of them. If a team wants, say the Giants are picking 5th, just say, I don't know. Okay, and a team wants to move up, maybe to grab a quarterback. It's not a rich quarterback class. There's some nice quarterbacks there, and I'm sure some teams, after the season's over with, and some guys will have some nice workouts, and they'll go to the combine and they'll look real good, and all of a sudden one guy, like the guy from Liberty, I can't remember his name, or the guy from Oklahoma or North Carolina, those guys will start moving up the board. Maybe somebody will want to jump up and trade with the Giants. The Giants obviously go back from, like, say, 6th to number 12 or 13, pick up an additional first rounder for next year. So then we might have a pick 10 from the Bears, and we might wind up with 12 or 13 or 14 from another team who wanted a quarterback. So that would be good, and we pick up another first rounder for next year. That would be huge. But as I said, right now the Giants are picking like 5th or 6th, and they're picking 16 or 18. And I said, make sure this weekend, of course, we're all voting for the Giants to win, of course. Even I am, okay? But we want to make sure that the Buccaneers take care of business and beat those Bears this weekend. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants! Woo!